Hey, it's Mike here in the tiny house, and today we are going to make some oat milk that is not slimy like normal homemade oat milk that I've tried in the past, at least. That was basically oat water. No, this is going to be DIY Oatly style milk, and we're going to be using the magical enzymes that make it all smooth and creamy. Just these little guys that you can pick up at pharmacies and a lot of grocery stores, which is the magic ingredient. And we're also going to finish it off with my favorite drink, the golden milk turmeric latte. See if it works. All right, let's do this. We're just gonna do 3 ingredients in water for the basic version. We're gonna talk about some barista versions as well and how to do those. Let's do it. You may have seen my recent Oatly versus Coke blood sugar testing video, and Oatly did pretty well. Coke did way worse than I thought it would do. And in that video I mentioned that the way that they get Oatly to be better is by using amylase, which is a naturally occurring enzyme that we make in our saliva, but most of it actually comes from our pancreas. And also made a TikTok explaining this process, and it was pretty clear that a lot of people have started sort of boycotting Oatly for a few social reasons. I need to investigate those more before I can actually give an opinion on them, but a lot of people wanted to see the recipe of how it would be done, joking that you just spit in it. No, that is not how you do it, although it might help, it might get part of the way there. All right, let's start off with the enzyme. This is the one that I had laying around from a family member who thinks they help with digestion. I don't know if they actually do. And yeah, you can see right on the back, there's a bunch of different enzymes. Those don't matter. The only one that matters is amylase. And this one seems like it has a lot, 28,000, but you have to take 3 capsules. And so we're looking about in the range of 7, 8, or 9,000. And so we just need 1 capsule. In most cases, you'll just need a single capsule for about a cup of oats. It's also worth mentioning that these are not made of animal gelatin, the little jelly capsule. This is a cellulose one, so it's fully vegan. And don't worry if there's lactase on the back, that is not an animal product. It's the enzyme that would digest lactose, which is an animal product. Anyway, enough rambling. Actually, a little bit more rambling. So I was going down the rabbit hole trying to figure out the best way to do this, all of the best temperatures for amylase to do its enzyme process, which is not culturing. It's not like bacteria breaking anything down is different. It's more of like a chemical cleaving. So you have that long starch molecule, which you then break down into 2 shorter chains, including maltose, which again, we talk about the glycemic index and stuff in the last Oatly video. And by we, I mean just me. But back when I was researching this, it became very clear that it has already been done by Sauce Stash, who has a very good, easy to follow step-by-step recipe, and I will link that below. Major credit to him. Because Sauce Stash's method required straining twice, you can watch this video, I decided to streamline it lazily into this, which is simply blend oats, water, and enzymes for 20 seconds, take that, heat it all in a pot to 145 degrees, and then you let it sit for 15 minutes, and then you strain it, and you're done. However, if you're making a bigger batch that is gonna sit for a while, you wanna deactivate those enzymes by doing a flash boil after the 15 minutes so you don't get a bunch of simple sugars and ferment it into hooch. All right, now for the only 2 other ingredients I'm gonna be using for the most basic milk I'm making, which is just gonna be your rolled oats and your vanilla extract, which this one's alcohol-free. I don't think it really matters for something that small. All right, some other things that I will be using. Sadly, I'm using cheesecloth, which if you triple it up is equivalent to a nut milk bag. I don't have my amazing giant nut milk bag that magically disappeared right before this video and will probably show up tomorrow, but this is gonna work, and heck, it's more widely available anyway. And then this is where it becomes a little bit more complicated. Not really complicated, but you need an extra thing, and that is a food thermometer, and this is the only one that I had access to. I didn't want to go ahead and buy a new one at the store just for this, but yeah, it's a meat thermometer. And it's ridiculous. It's basically an antique. Thankfully, it hasn't touched meat in probably a decade. But you can see the different nasty products here, like veal and their best temperature. We want to be right around 145. And that brings us right around to about 63 degrees Celsius. Yes, I am covering you across the pond as well. And no, we don't want to go down to China, which is apparently about 130 degrees. I've got my 1 cup of oats directly into the blender. I'm gonna add 4 cups of water to this. All right, water's going directly in there. Sounds great. All right, this is the point where you can add any other ingredients that you want, and for me, it's just an emotionally appropriate amount of vanilla extract. Looks pretty good. All right, we're about to crack open a pill like some type of addict, probably an Oatly addict who spent all of their money at Starbucks. Yes, I'm using my teeth. So I'm just gonna blend this normally and heat it, but if you want to drive everybody else insane but be a little bit more efficient, you could probably just do the soup technique in your Vitamix if you have a high-powered blender. Just keep it going for about 4 minutes and then check the temperature. You could probably get it up to 150 and then just pour it all out and do this all in one foul swoop. I'm not gonna do that though because sanity is valuable. Another good thing about this technique is you don't need to worry about blending it for a little bit too long and heating it up and activating the enzymes, because we're about to activate the enzymes anyway. And then I just pour what I blended into this salsa pan. Oh, it finally happened. I dropped the nasty old thermometer. I caught it. Oh man, this is why I do science videos. Oh. And yes, my cooking videos are always a bit chaotic. If you're an OG subscriber, you remember the time that I blended the sticker on the pepper. That's how I roll. Swooshy, swooshy, swooshy. I'm also just being really careful to not go past 150 because I don't want to mess it up. Because I kind of just messed this one up and I had to pour it out. Which was sad because it going over 150, I don't know if it's just temporarily deactivating the enzymes at like 160, 170, or if it's killing the enzymes. They're not alive, but if it's just making them worthless. So I'm being really careful, and we're almost there. And I think it's good tip to stop the heat when you're up around 138, 140, and see if it keeps rising, because I don't know about your quality of your thermometer, but my thermometer seems a little bit delayed. Going oat crazy over here. Science. I should just write in oat milk in between beef rare and beef medium. In future vegan world, oat milk enzyme digestion will be a setting on all thermometers. All right, timer for 15 minutes once it's hit 145, and then we just let it cool down naturally. All right, now time to strain this. I've got 6 layers of cheesecloth here. I also taste tested to make sure it was getting sweeter just at 15 minutes, and it definitely gets sweeter at just 15 minutes, which is pretty awesome. Because I read online in some forums that it would take like an hour or so. It might be even sweeter. I mean, the longer you go, the more of those starches break down. So, projectile oat. Oh my god, no! Screw cheesecloth. Alright guys, straight blendered one. I've got in a weird square ball jar here. Quick taste test. So much smoother. This is pretty good. Now, for those who want to go all the way to the barista style, you just have to add a few more ingredients. You know, if you do what Sauce Stash did, we're talking 3 grams of soy lecithin to create an emulsion so that it holds the oil that you add. You also add 23 grams of a sort of neutral tasting oil, slowly pour it into the blender. You know, each one of these ingredients, you put it in, you blend a little bit, put it in, you blend a little bit, and then to make that last, you put in xanthan gum. And that is just 1 gram of xanthan gum. And then finally, if you want it to foam, you can put 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder. But me, I'm gonna whip up a quick golden milk latte because turmeric is so healthy for you. It just makes me feel healthy. This also has things like ashwagandha and ginger and stuff that just makes me feel extra healthy. I don't know why. And I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of the date syrup stuff. Turmeric buffers everything because it's so healthy, you know. Crack cocaine, turmeric. 400 grams of sugar, just eat turmeric. All right, guys, here's my golden milk latte. So little inflammation after you drink this. It's already dark, which is annoying because winter in the Midwest, but let's taste this golden milk. Definitely my ratios of things were off in this, but I think the milk part is good. Let's just put that away for now. All right, guys, I couldn't end on a bad note, but I saw this organic cocoa, unsweetened, and I was like, I need to make hot chocolate, and I went ahead and put coconut sugar in this because that date stuff was just not that sweet, and let's test it. But oh my, that is rich, and that is creamy, and that is everything that I would want for a milk in terms of a hot cocoa. So, ooh, success. All right, let's huddle in here. I say huddle in because, yeah, that's my normal height. So I am pretty impressed. I think if you want it to be even a little bit sweeter, like Oatly is, you might need to leave it for a little bit longer or add a little bit more of the enzyme. If you want to go sweeter, obviously the more enzyme you go, the sweeter it can technically get until you've digested pretty much all of the starch. So it's a spectrum, you know, not expected to hit it perfectly every time. Once again, special thanks to Sauce Stash for paving the way for this. I have to say though, I can't taste it. Maybe a finer palate could, but I can't taste the difference between the sort of quicker blended version and the 2-stage one where you're making the base and then you're doing it. Well, that's it for today. I'll try to link everything in the description, put all of the actual directions in the description as well. I'm gonna drink some delicious hot cocoa and probably throw away this meat thermometer because, let's be honest, it's a piece of crap. Feel free to not like the meat thermometer, but like the video if you want. Feel free to subscribe, all that good stuff, and thanks for watching.